There we are, ladies and gentlemen. We are live. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the latest edition of the Jobber Knocker podcast. As always, is Nestlemania. Alongside for the ride is a man that actually conducted an independent study, JC. Congratulations.
Well, Nestlemania, when you said we're going live this week, all I could think of was, it's all about the live. Let's go, baby. I'm wearing it today.
It's all about the boom.
It's Adam Cole's getting a title shot, baby, on Friday on Rampage. And we're going to talk about that today, but not till later in the show, Nestlemania, because even though we're live, we still do the show the same way. And that's what's starting with the shine. And Nestlemania, I was thinking something last night when I was watching Raw on Monday night. Is this show like gotten a lot better? Is it fun right now? It feels like there's a lot of fresh things. Sure, of course, it's still Raw. It's 3 hours. It's too long. There's some crap, but I mean, it's not just the Cody, which is where I'm going to start, but Obviously. It's just like there feels like a lot of new stuff. It feels like a lot of interesting stuff. I think Raw is in a good place right now, which obviously we're coming off of WrestleMania. So rah. I think last week people were a little disappointed as we talked about with the Raw after Mania, especially after that first hour. But this week I thought we kind of got a little carryover. There was more teases, but Nestlemania, I have to start with the start of the show because Miz TV, I mean, if you know me, JC, you know, two of my favorite wrestlers of all time are the Miz and Cody Rhodes. And they've been apart for 6 years. But there was that dark time in WWE where it wasn't interesting, where those two were holding up the mid-card, and they were the only reason I was watching every week. So for me watching this, I just loved it. And I thought it was great. I mean, we know what the Miz is on the mic. We know what he is. And we know that Cody right now is over like Rover because he's still fresh. He's the new guy. He's the comeback. Everyone's all into it. The American Nightmare. It's just like the fervor is crazy for him. They were in Detroit and the place went nuts because that was always the curious. Like once we get past the WrestleMania type crowds, would the reaction be the same? And it was, if not even hotter. So that was cool to see. But there was a lot like in this promo, a lot of back and forth that was a lot of fun. You know, obviously Cody calling it a belt. Miz immediately going, it's a title. A belt holds up your pants, which was great. And then he had the other one where he corrected Cody's wrestlers into superstars. Yes. So just across the board, this is good stuff.
So I wanted to sit there very quickly because I know how you are, right? So I know that basically you JC, pronouns pals, we usually say in the biz, you're a Miz guy, you're a Cody guy. So all I could think about was, wow, like this is JC porn, right? Like this is you. This is you know, who booked this shit? That's you, right? So I'm sitting there and I'm watching, and then of course he says the belt thing, and I went, and then he said wrestler again, and I went, shut up, just shut up,
dude.
Like,
this is by design. You kidding me?
No, I know. Shit. But here's the thing. Here's the thing that makes me super nervous about this entire thing. When you say things like belt enough times, when you say wrestler enough times, there's an old 70-year-old, 76, 70, whatever he is, old man sitting there backstage saying, God damn it. You know, like he gets so upset over somebody sneezing or farting. Like saying championship belt is not good, or saying wrestlers instead of superstars. He just sat on there and he's doing that. Like it doesn't make any goddamn sense to me. Like
you're getting worked, boy. You are getting worked. You think Vince wasn't back here when they were exchanging notes going, oh, that's good. Miz is the company guy. Oh, this is such good shit. They're going to be tweeting or twatting about it, whatever it is.
You sound like my dad, tweeting or twatting or put on my Twitter.
You think Vince, we know Vince has a Twitter. We know Vince doesn't run his Twitter. So he probably calls it Twitter, twatter, twitty yada. I don't know.
Look, all I'm saying is when he said those two magic words, all I thought about to myself was, what, like it's literally like here's what I thought about. Like, say that shit when you have the championship, because then they can't take it away from you.
No,
Like,
man.
you're gonna
You
tell me
do
I'm
it when
getting
it's
worked up.
fresh, man. You strike while the iron
No,
is
no,
hot.
no, no, no. It's
You
just like
do it. No, this was
here's
perfect.
no. Here's the thing. Let's just say yes. Let's just say it was part of the vernacular. It was part of whatever, right? It was part of the thing, right? But here's the thing. When Cody Rhodes said wrestler, when he said belt, we all know that was kind of like, oh, they're trying to hook us, right? But let's live in a different world for 1 second, right? Let's think about this just as a human being,
A
right?
multiverse of Nestle.
A Nestleverse, if you will, which is clearly a terrible thing for everybody involved. But you sit there and you think about it, JC. Vince McMahon could change his minds with the toys that he's playing with, right? And something like that could change his mind, don't you think?
No, because I think as a lot like this Cody thing is so hot right now. It's not going to last like this forever, but they're gonna milk it as long as they can before they give him the title. Because then after that, you're probably gonna turn him heel because look, the guy's fucking neck tap. Come on, but it just Vince. We don't give Vince enough credit for how smart he is with this stuff. Like there's all the stories and there's little things. He knows what Cody Rhodes is. He knows what he has in Cody Rhodes. The paycheck that he's paying him, he knows what he has. So any stuff like this is good because Vince loves people that do things differently. And Cody, obviously, this is the first time something like this has ever happened in terms of a ton of different things. So this is just all new. And that's why it's fun. It's fresh. It's fresh, man. And in WWE, especially, we know they love reruns and shit. We're getting Cody Step 2, which is fine. That match was awesome. So hopefully after that, maybe they move on. But I mean, I got to get to Backlash. But this is just so fresh. Vince doesn't care about that shit, man. And I want to move on to the match now because I really enjoyed it. I was going to enjoy it no matter what, but I thought it was
you were.
But I saw you had a tweet. You had a tweet.
I did.
Like too.
Look. So here's the thing, right? And again, all bias aside, I grew up in the 90s. So I enjoyed that older style of wrestling. Like not the, I'm putting him in a sleeper hold and I'm going to Hulk out of it, 3 punches to the gut, swing off and do my comeback. Not that stuff. But when I was watching Cody and I was watching The Miz fight, all I could think about was this feels like Bret Hart's facing somebody. Like, I don't know what it was. It just felt different from, and again, I'm not taking anything away from the Ricochets of the world and all these amazing AJ Styles moves and stuff like that. But it was a different pace. It felt like there were rest holds. There were little things here and there that were like, they slapped a figure 4 on and they worked a figure 4 the right way. Like, with the it took me back to my childhood a little bit. So I was excited. I thought that was it wasn't the best match of the night, but it stood out in a different way. And I thought that was wonderful because Cody and The Miz cannot do what 95% of the roster can do. But when that 5%, then what they can do, they do it better and differently than everybody else.
100%. That's what I think you hit on. You're going to see it a lot with Miz matches. You're going to see it a lot with Cody matches in WWE because we saw it through AEW or whatever. They're two of the better storytellers between the ropes of taking the story that you're coming in with and you're leaving with, you know what I mean? It's they keep that story going. Some people, when they have a match, it's just like, pew, pew, pew. You mentioned Ricochet, of course, my guy. I love him for obviously different reasons, but it's just, you have a lot of these high spots and these fun things where the Miz and like Cody and even like Randy to a degree, like these guys are all more, they keep the storytelling within the match. Roman's obviously a big part of his run is the storytelling he does in the ring. That's why I cannot wait for the Reigns Cody feud down the line. I don't know if you saw a video that, from like, I think must have been the dark match last night, is Roman Reigns came out and was ripping up Cody signs on the way to the ring. So they're teasing it, but we're not going to get that for a while, I don't think. But I mean, just it's a lot of good stuff. But Nestlemania, you said it wasn't the best match of the night. So I have to ask you, what was your favorite match of the week?
I mean, well, hey, look, I will say this much. I really enjoyed FTR and the Young Bucks. So I have to put that out there. But I think that there's a lot going on in terms of tag team wrestling. I think there's a lot of good stuff. I thought the main event of Raw, they answered the bell, as our boy Dom would say. And I really enjoyed the 45 minutes. The last 45 minutes of Raw was really good tag team wrestling. Again, not the Young Bucks and FTR level, but they showed off that they have a really deep and really well put together tag team division. But again, when you grade the FTR and the Young Bucks stuff, the Young Bucks actually, tweeted out after that match, we don't have many of those left in us, so enjoy it. And again, I can't speak volumes any more than I can on this program about FTR, about the Young Bucks. We went on this program last week and talked about how the FTR are they the best tag team on the planet right now? I don't know. For me, it's the Young Bucks. It's the Usos. But you can tell me differently.
I think those are the top 3. And like I said last week, I think you can make an argument for any of them. I personally have FTR. You can call it bias, but I love the Usos too. And that's why I loved about Raw this week is because obviously we know Roman, he clearly has the injury. So what they're doing is they're elevating main event Jey Uso and main event Jimmy Uso. That tag team wrestling in the main event on all the shows this week was awesome. It was awesome to see. And obviously, the Street Profits, man. Montez is freaking insane with some of the shit he does. So it was the right call to put them in the main event. And obviously, right before that on Raw, you had RK Bro and Alpha Academy again, which, I mean, I just can't get enough of. They're so much fun. And the shoosh. So we had tag team wrestling main eventing Dynamite. We had tag team wrestling main eventing Raw. It was just a great week for tag team wrestling all around, really showcasing that, yeah, there are a ton of really good tag teams right now, and that's fun.
There were a lot of people were saying that there was not a lot on Raw that I thought, they thought was good. And I kind of beg to differ. I thought,
I agree 100%.
I thought, I mean, again, I kind of cringed at like the amount of Cody they shoved down people's throats a little bit, which they got to be careful about. But I mean, I get it. He's a big deal right now.
It's the hottest thing right now.
It's the hottest thing.
3-hour show.
Right.
You got to milk that cow.
I will put on the table in the shine. I wanted it to happen. I didn't watch Raw live like everybody else because I had stuff to do, but I wanted the lie detector test, and I was super pumped for this entire, like, I love nonsense in general. People think I'm not fun. You can go fuck off. I'm fun. I'm fun. I am.
What did our boy Billy always say? If you have to tell people something,
I'm funny, damn it.
That means it's not true.
I'm funny, damn it. No, but look, the realization here is that KO's kind of like, is he hurt? I guess he's hurt.
I don't care. KO is already gotten Ezekiel over this gimmick, which should have been the dumbest thing ever. Like, I love the way they did it this week too, because like inserting Tommaso kind of being like the straight guy, being like, no, it's his Ezekiel. He's Elias' brother, and KO just like losing his mind, being like, am I the only sane one? I thought this was good because it was a good way to kind of like inch this fun little story forward with just like a simple backstage segment. You don't have to just throw them in the ring, but it's nice that that's what I mean with Raw right now. They seem like they're building a lot of things off of WrestleMania, and there's a lot of different things going on. And this, of course, like, I mean, KO is he's on a roll, man. He is just on such a roll, and he is just like, he's doing great work.
The thing that I loved was that I wanted this, last week, I wanted the lie detector test immediately. So I'm so glad that it's front and center and it's happening. But the other thing next week, which I'm really excited about, obviously, but the other thing that I thought was very great about this entire thing, I don't know if you remember this, you might've been out of wrestling at this point, but they had Paul Burchill being a pirate around Pirates of the Caribbean time. And it was like, literally, I think before he debuted, they had William Regal make fun of it, which was super important. He was like, he dresses like a freaking pirate. Like he made fun of it. And the crowd ate it up. I don't know. Like, to me, that's one of the biggest mysteries to me as why they didn't capitalize on Pirates of the Caribbean at the time and like keep going with it, because I thought it was, but it's not that Elias or Ezekiel is the same thing here by any stretch of the imagination.
They're two different people.
Right. But I'm curious to see where this goes, because for something that I wasn't interested in, because we were kind of getting sour on Elias in general, because he was taking up a lot of TV time. He left. Probably.
So what do you do when you do that? You kill off the character and bring in someone new.
Yeah, and I think honestly, at least I'm interested in see where it goes. I mean, jury's still out, right? But
I don't think the upside is really there with this, but I think it's a nice way to reintroduce him, have some fun with KO. And I mean, if he ends up keeping this name, I think it's fine. I mean, let's be real about the Elias Ezekiel, like in general, like I don't think he's ever going to be a main eventer. So it doesn't matter. I think he's solidified in the mid card, and his last gimmick was perfect for that. It was like it's a heel, and then he got super over. But it kind of like we had ran his course, and then they got Boogs, who's like a better Elias, who's now rehabbing too. So that's why they brought Ezekiel back. Maybe he could pick up the guitar, but I don't think he will. I think this is it's someone who they clearly like. He has charisma. He's not the best in the ring, but in terms of everything else, WWE, I think he does a good job. So yeah, with KO, I think it's a great start.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. I mean, there's nothing else really to say about it. I'll be curious to see how ridiculous it is on, next Monday when they do the lie detector test, because I think KO's a promo and a segment machine. I mean, he really is. I mean, you think about it, he doesn't under deliver. He really doesn't. So,
well, speaking of newbies, Nestle, I'm going to head to the blue brand because Gunther and Ludwig officially debuted on SmackDown. Obviously we knew Gunther got the name change a couple months ago and people went nuts, but, he has brought one of his friends with him, formerly Imperium, formerly known as Marcel Bartel. But when they came up together, they're probably in a meeting, and Vince is like, "What's your name?" What? Marcel? I used to have a guy named Antonio. Sounded like a pussy. Marcel? That's next level pussy. We're changing that shit. Someone Google me something German. Ludwig? Oh, Ludwig and Gunther. I can hear it. Yeah, you're gonna introduce him. We're gonna do it. And you know what, Nestlemania? I love the presentation. I thought this was great because I don't mind the way they did this, because they're obviously they broke it up Imperium, it seems, and I know that's gonna upset a lot of people, probably our boy Wes, but Gunther is the star of that faction. The other two guys, they're great wrestlers, were a great tag team, but Gunther, he's really got the WWE body now. You've seen the transformation picture with him, and I think he even did an interview where he said he's like, I always had the gut because when I watched wrestling back in the day, I kind of loved how the bigger guys had the little gut. It was kind of cool, but he's like, that doesn't exist anymore. That's not the world we live in. So he evolved into what he needed to be to get to the main roster where he wanted to be, where I think, honestly, this guy, like, I think he'd be a top heel for many years. But the one thing he lacks, obviously, is not the greatest promo, whether it's the language barrier or whatever. That's not as much what he is. But formerly Bartel, now Ludwig, is a very good promo. And so I think it's the right decision to kind of have him kind of break in as a manager role for, I keep wanting to say Walter. It's going to take a while.
Yeah,
Gunther.
you're damn right.
Gunther, which they were chanting Gunther, as McAfee said, which was hilarious because they weren't. But I love this presentation in Nestlemania. I know why you love this because we had an actual jobber on SmackDown.
Dude, you have no idea how excited I was when there was an actual Joe Alfonso. Let's give it up for Joe Alfonso, right? Like, because again, this is everybody sits there. Jobber's a bad word. Jobber's a bad word. Well, guess what? It's not. And that's why we have this podcast, because we want to make sure the jobber's a good word. That's why you go to PWTs. That's not what we do anymore. We're going to TeePublic right now.com
tpublic.com/jobber
knocker, because our boy TJ is doing a fantastic job over there. But I will say we love jobbers in general because of the local talent. Jobber enhancement matches is what we love, right? Like, that's when I look at that, when he sent out a tweet, right? And this is the whole thing, the whole circle right here. He tweeted out saying a high school teacher told him he was never going to be on WWE TV. He was never going to amount to anything. And that dude got it. So you know what? Good for him. Like, good for him, because honestly, that's what dreams are made of, dude. Even if you don't reach it, the mountaintop, you reach the mountaintop at least once here. So for me, I was ecstatic for Joe Alfonso. I thought, personally, I'm not a Gunther guy, but I can see the allure. I can see the money. I'm not stupid. It's just not somebody that I'm going to cheer for or get excited about. He chops. I mean,
you shouldn't be cheering him. He's gonna.
No, but here's the thing.
I just think he has that potential to be like that like really good bad guy. That
yes.
he'll be someone we'll go to appreciate, because in the ring, the guy can go. He's proven that.
Right. And I think the other thing too is, and here's the thing. Like, I'm not like, you give me a match. It's like, oh, it's Gunther versus somebody. It doesn't get me excited. You give me Gunther versus Brock Lesnar, I'm going to be salivating, because that thing's going to be legit. You know what I mean? Like
Gunther Brock, Gunther Roman, Gunther
those
Drew.
guys.
I wish we could do Gunther Cesaro, but he ran away. So.
Right. But I'm saying, like, that kind of elk, that's what I want. I want that kind of brutality. I mean, it ain't ballet, as we usually say, but that's what I'm thinking about when I think about him. But when I see him with other people, I'm just like, I don't know. I'm not really excited. But again, I see the money. I see it. So I'm excited for him. Again, I've always thought that Ludwig was my favorite out of the three.
He was too. He has a cool look. And I thought he's the most fun to watch in the ring, but
he has a very punchable face.
Yes,
that's what it is.
Did you see the GIF going around? Yeah. Walter doing the slap. He's like it's just like he has that extra charisma, which is why I think he's the perfect guy to start as like a manager. I'm sure he's going to wrestle too, but like to kind of bring Gunther in is like he's just perfect. It's perfect.
Oh yeah, I'm excited for the whole presentation, honestly. And the other guy, what's his name?
Fabian Eichner.
I knew that. So
he's a good wrestler.
So he's a good wrestler. He's a creative wrestler. He just looks very generic, unfortunately.
Yeah,
it's sad.
He's been in the company a long time. He was kind of the addition to Imperium when they made that group, not one of the originals from overseas. But Nestlemania, I know what else you popped for this week is, our boy Madcap cracked some jokes. And even though Corbin wasn't impressed with some jokes this week, he did make one that had me rolling on the floor, and that was Madam Pierce.
Look, I got to say this much. I think you tweeted this out, and I felt exactly the same way, which was they built a baby face correctly here. And Corbin was very selfless, not selfish, and helped his friend, in this category. And look, Madcap could be a player. We don't know, right? We know this is not the greatest gimmick.
He was on Friday, man. Did you hear that reaction from him?
But they loved him. But again, I think the suspenders has given him character. The short shorts has given him character. The terrible jokes have given him character. So it's, again, we're talking about doing a 2D cutout versus a 3-dimensional character. At least you've got something with him, right? So I'm curious how you feel about it, JC, because for me, I'm trying to think of his ceiling. Because we know Corbin, he's up there.
Well, Madcap, I mean, I'm not going to call him a future world champion or anything like that, but he's always a guy that, the big question was, could he get the character? Because we saw what he was a good wrestler. That's why they kind of kept him around for so long. I think he was one of those guys that was just kind of NXT forever. We saw it. He's an athlete. He kind of has the look because he's a big guy or whatever. Like we saw him on Raw Underground where I kind of saw like his toughness. I was like, okay, but what with this Happy Corbin gimmick, it really showed us that, okay, this guy has range character-wise. And that's what I was looking for. I think he impressed probably Vince and everyone else backstage with his 2 pay-per-view matches with Drew, that, you know, he could prove he could do a long match with a top guy. So I think he's a guy that he's definitely a mid-carder for sure. But I think he's a guy that probably could step up a little bit and maybe help, like, elevate maybe whether he's a heel or a good guy, like kind of, you know, mix and match between like the true heavyweights, because I think like you can't really teach size, and this guy has some size. He can match up with the size guys. And I mean, right now, I think you're going to have fun with this gimmick. Him and Corbin are probably going to have a longish feud. I'll assume he'll come out on top. And again, like I'm not saying he's a future world champion, because I don't think he is. Could he be? Sure, because he has the look and the style or whatever, but I'm not going to put that on him. But either way, I think this is great. I'm happy for him, and I'm excited to see as he moves forward, the more he develops.
I did not think I was going to like him as much as I did. And now I'm just like, he's a great, on a wrestling show, he's a great switch, like a great change of pace.
Yes.
Because there's so much, people say there's not enough wrestling on WWE programming. That's a whole other issue. But I think when I'm watching the wrestling, I get reminded, oh, there's entertainment as well. So I just think he's great. I honestly think there's so much to be had there. Anything else in the shine that you'd like to talk about?
Yeah, another good one on SmackDown was Liv and Sasha. I thought was a very good match. Obviously, there was supposed to be a tag team title match on Raw, which we didn't get. I'm assuming since Rhea wasn't there that she was probably out. That's probably why they pushed it back a week. So then Liv got a shot at Naomi. But Liv getting a win over Sasha, I think, is huge. Obviously, you can say they undid it, I guess, by losing to Naomi on Raw. I don't see that. But Liv beating someone of Sasha's caliber, I think, is a big deal, because if you look through her singles career, that probably is like her biggest win. And it does kind of give her something legit. And, you know, it's one of those things, like, there were a couple roll-ups on SmackDown, so I'm curious your take. But in terms of this one, I thought this one was perfect, because when you get an upset like this, like, the roll-up worked for shock value. So,
look, I hate roll-ups in general. That would probably go into the heat if we talk about that, but that's fine. Do you have anything else in the shine, by the way?
I mean, there are things that I don't like, but
so hold on. I just want to let you know, I'm getting a lot of feed here with people like our boy Joseph Gilmore.
Oh,
but
I see it.
Okay, but did you see the nonsense right here? Nestle's headphones bigger than his head.
I can tell you that is one of Dr. Joe's podcasts.
Yeah, I would say so. Bigger than my head.
The headphones might be bigger than your head.
Listen.
You do have a small cranium, especially when you compare it to mine. I have kind of a big head.
Listen, you know? I would like to let you know, I shaved my head, right? And not only that, but I realized
I didn't even notice that because of the headphones.
You're a terrible friend. You didn't even notice my new hair.
No, I didn't.
And so here's the other thing, right? When I take it off, watch what happens. Perfectly round.
Why did you shave your head?
It's like the best. Maybe it's even an oval.
What was the decision to make you shave your head? I'm shocked.
Well,
you always loved your lettuce.
I've got a great head of hair, probably the best hair in the biz. Not anymore. I got sick of it, and I immediately regret it. So here's
the kids pulling on it.
No, they love it. They thought it was great. But stop denying the back. Oh, Ray, come on. We'll get into that in a second. So look, so I shaved my head because I was tired of like. I just need to go to a barber. I need to go to somebody's. So that I need to go back to the person that was cutting my hair, basically, because I can't do it on my own. Hair talk. You're right. So look, we'll get back.
I legitimately did. I'm not like even kidding. I didn't notice because of the headphones.
Right. The headphones do it all. The headphones.
And literally already said, I was like, oh my God, he did. There's a lot of space there.
There's a lot of space.
Yeah.
And that's why. So it's like, I get why everybody thinks it looks like a crane is coming down and picking me up out of the
it does. It looks like a game.
Yeah, like a Yep, I'm going. I won. Yeah, that's exactly what happened right now. I'm a crane toy. Like the aliens from Toy Story. You know what I mean? Take me to your leader.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, there you go. I'm sure if Billy's watching this, he'll just start pulling a crane and then I'll disappear because Billy does weird things. So sorry, anything else in the shine that you want to talk about besides my terrible haircut?
I mean, I kind of like what happened with Butch and Xavier, but we can. I'll say that for you. But
fucking Ray.
I don't know, man. Oh, did you like the VIP lounge?
So here's the thing. I really was excited to watch this. And then it fell flat for me. So I think the thing is like, I like what happened, right? Like I liked the points that were hit, but then there's something about it that made me go,
I can tell you what it is.
I don't want it. I don't care.
No, you want to know what it is? Is we finally fixed Omos and getting him a manager, which is what he needed. But to do that, now Bobby needs a manager. Like it's great. Like he's getting the babyface reaction when he comes out, but the minute he starts talking, he loses all of us because I love the man, but he struggles with the spoken word. He just does. He just does. For whatever reason, he just does. And less has always been more with him. But the problem is when you're going back and forth with MVP, you gotta fucking run your mouth. So I was like, man, what's Leo Rush doing? Can we get Leo Rush back? Could you
He made a
imagine
comment. He made a comment about.
I was
some
gonna.
TikToker,
Could you
so-
imagine that? That would be awesome to have Leo and MVP go back
Lashley.
and forth on the mic and let Lashley and Omos beat the shit out of each other. Because yeah, no, I was with you. I love the idea of the segment. Once we started getting a little bit of Bobby throwing shit around and whatever, it was good. But like Bobby by himself talking, not great, Bob.
No, not great, Bob, at all. I sat there and I went, "This."
What are his sisters doing? One of his sisters talking.
What is Sami Zayn doing right now? Obviously, Sami
Zayn's feuding with Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, poor guy. The guy that comes right through the door. That made me giggle too. But you know, it is what it is. But something about Bobby Lashley right now made me go like, I was super excited, and then all of a sudden it felt like just air out of the room, just completely.
Bonus hope. Leo, come back.
Yeah,
we
seriously.
know you left AEW because Tony Khan, is
made a bad decision. That's fine.
You know, Vince loves you guys, so come on home.
So, we got anything else you want to get into the heat?
No.
Get him off my TV. Get him off my TV. Get him off my TV. I can actually show this on the stream. Our boy Ray saying, "Stop denying the greatness of the backwoods finish." There you go, Ray. You got on the actual YouTube. There you go. So look, I'm gonna say this much, JC. You know how I feel. You know how I feel. Don't like roll-ups. Surprise victories. They're shitty. They don't mean a damn thing. And they'll never be, look at me, I'm looking right at the camera. They will never get over. You can call it backwoods. You can call it whatever the hell you want. It ain't getting over.
Did you just reverse curse the backwoods finisher?
That's what Ray's hoping. That's what Ray's hoping.
Here's the thing. So I love that we're finally getting Butch's debut. I know this was a fun little match. I love that he's like a fucking cartoon character. Why Iota? I think it's great. I think the name's great. When I saw it on the graphic, I popped. Just something about seeing the word Butch on a graphic with him. It's just like, it's going to work, man. Eventually he's going to get back to the bruiserweight, whatever, cool guy. But you're on the main roster now, man. You got to be able to do a little bit of the why Iotas. So I love that part of it. I don't mind the New Day picking up the win because I like how they kind of been like, oh, records reset. Like anytime you bring up records again, it's another thing where it's like you're poking fun at the other company in general because we know WWE doesn't keep records. But if New Day keeps getting one up on them and they have like a 5-0 record, like I think that's good. It's a nice little touch. But yeah, I kind of would prefer if Xavier didn't win with a roll up every week, but it's they're kind of setting it up that the backwoods is a real thing. Nestlemania. So you have to deal with it.
So here's the thing. I clearly I have to deal with it. This is the part of the program that is the heat. But here's the other thing that I would like to say, and this is the part that's going to get people pissed off. I don't know if Xavier Woods is going to wrestle every week, so I don't know if he's going to get the finish over. And honestly, he's not going to win a lot of matches sometimes because sometimes he gets fed to people like Baron Corbin or Sheamus or other people because he's getting set up to do something else. So it's hard for me to believe that the roll-up victory doesn't become a roll-up victory after a while if it's not a surprise, if people know what it is. It's a finish. Like, you know what I mean? So it's an odd juxtaposition to me because you're going from something that's supposed to be like, haha, I got you, to somebody, I know it's coming, so they'll just stop it.
So here's the flaw in your argument, because I agree. And the example I'm going to give is something that I regularly bash, is that we've seen fucking legit matches finish with the fucking people's elbow, the 5-knuckle shuffle, which are just as ridiculous as a roll-up, but CM Punk lost to The Rock by a fucking people's elbow to end his launch streak. It's just like, it's one of those things where it's just like, I agree with you. I'm not a big fan of the roll-up either, but if it becomes a thing and it's a finish, it can finish a match. It's just how it is.
Yes, but here's the thing. It's not out of like Randy Orton's RKO is effective out of nowhere.
Yeah, but the RKO is also a dope fucking
It's a dope fucking finish, right? So like that's different. But like you can't tell me like, oh my God, he hit the backwoods. Oh my God, Ray is the only.
We got a flying Xavier roll-up.
Yeah, we got a rolling Woodsy. Who cares? Like Ray is the only one I actually believe the only one on planet Earth. Ray, I love you, man. I think you're the fantastic.
Ray's in charge of the bots that were going after AEW, like Tony Khan said.
Oh my God.
So, hey, there's a lot of them out there.
He must be Ray bot.
Might actually be a bot.
Ray might be a bot. I don't think I've ever seen the man eat or drink. So you never know. Never know. Maybe you got to plug him in. I don't know. But anyway, let's get on to other things that upset everybody, I'm sure. Rhonda passed a note because she wanted a fucking, not today. We're going to release it on Tuesday or was it Monday or whatever?
That was my problem with this. Saturday. I actually didn't mind the segment because it was like there's something about angry Rhonda that fucking, I just love it. Just like, backstage, just like pouty face. Pouty face Rhonda's great because she's fucking pouting. She's not getting her way. She looks like a spoiled brat. It's great. But like the fact to be like, I don't know if you're going to get your match. And the next day it's like, you're getting your match. It's like, you couldn't like drag this out a little more and kind of like play it up that more of, just kind of, because then it makes it lame. Like, oh, you made a big deal about how she might not get the match, but then you immediately gave it to her. Like, then what was the point?
Right. And I totally agree with you on that, because it just made me feel like, what the fuck am I listening to? Like, what, like, again, Ronda Rousey's doing, like, I can't illustrate my point to the fullest extent here, but it's like she's just like this entitled little like high schooler who comes in and just like huffing and puffing all the fucking time. And I'm just, yeah, like, how dare you? I'm a UFC Hall of Famer. You should let me break people's arms. And I've never, it bothers me. Oh, here we go. This is one for you specifically. Now he's just trying to troll us.
Oh boy, yeah. Can we ban people for life?
Like I can kick him off. Does on his stream? I don't know. No, I'm kidding. I wouldn't.
Ban for life, Doc. With that shit. Get that out
Doc.
Here. Like, Doc. You know what? I want Alexa back on TV, but if that fucking doll comes back, it's going to be in the heat every week.
Every single week, you say?
Yeah, because
every single
that doll that could be good.
So I'm curious because it's just something that we haven't talked about per se, but on Raw, Veer had his debut. I thought it was supposed to be against Rey Mysterio. That didn't happen. It was against Dom.
That was Rey wasn't on Raw either. So maybe
Ray there's something going around. Who knows?
Something going on with the R's. Rey and Rhea not showing up to Raw. So
getting the Rona probably.
Triple R. Yeah. Who knows? We don't know. But that was weird. But I think honestly, I don't mind it going this way because it sure feels like the bigger match is Rey versus Veer at this point, getting like the comeuppance for his son. So I don't mind because that's who Veer targeted first last week was he beat up Dominic's and Rey had to be like, leave my son alone. And then Veer was like, ah. And then this week again, Veer was just like, ah, all over him. And he just kept beating him up. They had to bring out the officials and then, ah, and they stretchered Dom off to really sell. I don't mind when they're trying to build a big dominant heel here. I don't mind it. It's crazy. Like I saw our boy Guthrie going soft about this on Twitter when Veer is the ultimate like Guthrie guy. So I'm just shocked that he's already turning on him. I don't know what's going on with Guthrie. Like he just like ruining his gimmick there because he usually loves these guys like Veer. But you know what? I'm willing to give it a chance because, it's something different. It's someone new. But yeah, I'm curious to see how this story unfolds.
It doesn't really do a lot for a lot of people, though. I will say, I don't really love it. I don't
because no one knows anything about Veer. Really, this is our first time.
What Guthrie wanted was for him to come out in an Oakland Athletics uniform and just catch people from the outfield.
You know what? So that's probably why he's gone sour on it. Yeah, because he's like a typical fan. I didn't get what I wanted.
How dare you? Now he is trying to be part of the show. He is trying to be part of the show. Lily is greater than Nestle's haircut. Everything's better because it's gone. That's why. Jesus Christ.
Lily could use a haircut. Cut off the whole doll, throw it out.
Anyway, something else that really bothered me. Sonya Deville interjecting herself against Bianca Belair. Obviously, Bianca needs to hit some tomato cans before she has a real challenge. But this is one of those things where I was just like, well, I don't care about WrestleMania Backlash at all.
Yeah, this one, it feels like it's kind of cold. Sonya's gonna have to do a little more for it, but I do like that she was teasing it, so everyone was thinking, "Oh my God, Bayley, Asuka, who could it be?" And then
when she said that, she said like the gender thing, and I was like, "Okay, it's her."
Yeah, when she started, no, it definitely so it kind of came up a little lame. It's just I don't. Like you said, I think it's just a one-off to kind of just like Bianca needs to be fed a heel. I think it's too fresh to throw old Dewdrop back in there because she beat her like 10 times already. And they clearly did the Zelina thing this week, and I don't think they really saw that as a pay-per-view match. Carmella's away at a wedding. Alexa Bliss just got married as well. So Raw's a little thin in terms of the woman. Because then your other two top stars, Rhea and Liv, are in the tag team feud, and then Becky's probably taking some time off. So I guess I kind of get it, even though Sonya is allegedly supposed to be on SmackDown, but I guess it's an official. You can do whatever the fuck you want. So I'm curious to see how the storyline goes because it seems like they're revamping the Pierce versus Sonya story, which kind of we thought was leading to a Survivor Series thing, then fizzled out. So I don't know, but I think you as a Sonya fan should be happy she's getting in the ring, though, right?
I'm happy that she's in the ring, but I just don't. There's something about her where I feel, and my boy Danny Grimwood would understand this better than anybody else. I think it's her just talking as an official.
Yeah, she sucks.
She's just.
I'm a big fan of Sonya, but some of the officials.
Sonya Deville in ring, love it, want more of it. But when I see Sonya Deville talking with a suit on, I go, like it gets to a point where there's just somebody has a commanding voice, and I hate to use that Adam Pearce has a commanding voice, but at least he goes,
he looks official. That's why Vince likes him. You look like you belong, kid.
And literally you're just waiting for him to go, not only is that going to happen, it's official. It's just like, all right, well,
By the way, where are my Madam Pierce photoshops? Come on.
Madam Pierce.
Madam Pierce Photoshop.
I'm
The guy's bald. It'd be easy to put a fucking toupee on him.
I'm bald now. My name's Madam. You can call me Madam Nestle. It'll be great. You can do a Photoshop.
That is true.
There you go. Madam Nestle. You don't think I've ever heard that when being teased? Come on. I've heard a lot of chocolate puns, but I mean the Madam Nestle thing.
Yeah, I usually do more with the last name than the first name with you.
Right.
Because, you know,
I'll tell you this much. When I was wrestling, people were chanting Anus.
Well,
that was fun.
If the shoe fits.
Anus, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, what it is. Anyway, Madam Adam. It's a big deal. It's fire. So literally, I don't have anything else in the heat. I mean, I'm sure I do. We have some jobber alerts very quickly, but.
Well, I will say the one last thing I think we need to talk about is that we're getting a pretty good match between AJ and Priest. And then all of a sudden, Damian Priest just kind of went, and the lights went out. We went to commercial. We came back and it was over. What?
This was more of a cop out for me because I was watching it and went, like, I literally,
I was taking a month off, isn't he? So we have AJ and Priest.
Yeah,
for like a month.
I was sitting there going, holy shit. Like, this is their new Fiend. Like, blah! Like this is it. It
wasn't great.
It wasn't great. And I think the presentation was terrible. The explanation, there is no explanation, I guess.
There wasn't. That's the
hook. That's the hook. But here's the other thing. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. And I think anybody would understand this because I'm a big Fiend guy, right? But when you get there and you have Damian Priest doing the kneeling, you know, whatever, and then it just goes to like some weird like Sin Cara close up with the lighting, whatever. And then they just have AJ running amok backstage saying, "Oh my God, I'm so pissed off. I'm going to get him." It's like, well, why didn't you get him when he was in the ring?
Well,
like,
so that was my issue, is that I thought this started good. I like the kind of backstage thing. It's been like, this was earlier today, him walking in and they freaking just like, they started fighting. I thought that was cool. And the match was pretty solid. And I mean, here's the thing. My favorite thing about Damian Priest is his fucking graphic looks so cool when they named him. His Chiron is so good, like with the difference. Like
Chiron. Hey, not everybody's in the biz.
I think most people who watch wrestling understand what Chiron is. If you don't, it's a little fucking graphic.
There you go. Lower third. Third.
They fucking know. Come on.
Listen, handhold people. Just because
we have a Chiron on this fucking show if they're watching.
And you're welcome. Boom.
If you're listening, you have no idea what we're talking about. But yeah, we're live on video if we didn't make that clear.
Well, we are, yes. Make sure to go follow us everywhere we can. And fucking Twitter, by the way. Jesus Christ. Couldn't put this on Twitter to save my goddamn life. It's upsetting. Anyway, anything else you want to talk about, or would you like to get hopeful?
Oh, we can get hopeful.
Then you go ahead, because usually you have a hope better than mine anyway.
You don't have one.
I don't.
You're my only hope. I didn't have one till I was
in the shitter. Go ahead.
Yeah, when I was pooping today, I came up with one because
where a lot of great ideas happen.
Yeah, unfortunately, the NXT tag titles have been vacated. So that means we have to figure out new champions. And they literally just did a tag tournament, so they weren't going to do that again. So we're getting a 5-team gauntlet match Tuesday night tonight on NXT. So I mean, if you're listening to this on Wednesday, this already happened, and my hope maybe it came true because hashtag JC knows, hashtags JC's hopes come true. But yeah, he put himself full for that. I see how it is. But no, the 5 teams, I believe, are Legado del Fantasma, the Creed Brothers, Pretty Deadly, Waller and Sanga, and Briggs and Jensen. So throw out Briggs and Jensen. No one cares about them. They stink. Get out of my face. Get out of my face. So here's my thing is I don't think the Creeds or Pretty Deadly are probably going to win either, because I think they're probably going to cancel each other out. So my hope is kind of who I think is going to win too, and that is the team of Sling Boy, Grayson Waller, and Sanga, who have never teamed together. I don't even know if Sanga has wrestled on NXT since he's been part of this. I know Indusher did back in the day, but I kind of want them to win. And here's how I do it. They can be the last team. So maybe you have the Creeds come out first. They take out Briggs and Jensen. Sup, jobbers, get out of here. They beat Legado and probably a banner. Then Pretty Deadly comes out. Maybe they somehow like beat Pretty Deadly with like a roll up, but then Pretty Deadly stays in the ring and beats the fuck out of them because they were the ones like beating up their dojo and all this other bullshit. So out comes Grayson Waller in a sling. Sanga just has to like power bomb one of them, and Grayson Waller in his sling pins them 1, 2, 3, new tag champs. Because here's the fun part about this, and I think they actually might have done this anyways, because it was supposed to be Waller and Sanga versus the former champs this week on NXT for the titles. Is they can have them defend the titles, quote unquote, and Waller is in a sling, so he can't wrestle, but you can just have them retaining because they cheat. Because it'd be such a cool visual to have a guy in the sling on an apron for like a month and then just keep winning the matches and holding these tag titles hostage. Because you know what? Here's the thing. If my boys, the Grizzled Young Veterans, actually got put in this tournament, I'd want them. I'd want them so bad because they deserve it. But for some reason, NXT is stupid and didn't put them in. So I'm all in on Waller and Sanga. So hashtag JC knows, hashtag JC's hopes come true. Put the titles on the sling, baby.
Well, you definitely have somebody else on your side. Our boy Tommy Feds has been in the thread here saying he's walking out. So I don't know. To go on off of that, I was going to say my hope when you said the NXT titles, I kind of want Pretty Deadly to win because I just love Pretty Deadly. I think they're fantastic. I think you're going to love Pretty Deadly. But
I'm sure I will.
My real hope here is Guthrie's going to get very upset with me. I want the uptighty whiteys to win. I think they're the only team in there that makes any goddamn sense. And my hope is that they revamp this division because it's in this weird influx.
The money with them though still is the chase. So that's why I think
there's no like clear baby face now because that baby face team is so gone. Like just
but the Creed brothers are the baby face team,
right? And that's what I'm saying. Like
they're
ipso facto kind of thing where it's just like you're in the next one up. So it's like you got to just kind of like, I'm sorry, but like it's the only other babyface team in there, right? Like there's just nothing else. There's
Briggs and Jensen might be babyface. I just don't
I cannot with Josh Briggs. We're not.
They both bore me to death. So not even talking about their personal lives. They both bore me to death.
First off, you can call me a shamer of all sorts of things because you guys pile on me. But I will say the cowboy gimmick in general overdone. Like cowboy, like anything country western, I'm already out. I'm done. I mean, it's a miracle that I care about Hangman Adam Page. It is a miracle because
it took a while.
Anything with a cowboy generally, I'm out. Because where do we meet cowboys in Massachusetts? We don't fucking meet cowboys.
Wow, that just makes you afraid.
Am I going to a country western bar? I don't think so. I'll go for some barbecue. I love fucking barbecue, but come on, man. Come on. Tell me I'm wrong. And by the way, Ray, you can go suck it.
Yeah, that's right. Ray said in the comment section is that Nestle doesn't understand betting lines because Dom put like when you put a plus next
5,
to it, that means it's a lawn odds. I think so. But Waller's walking out with the gold, Dom. You can book it. Nestle, but you haven't given your hope yet. So what's your hope?
Oh my God, I just said that thing about the hope, but you want me to give me my real hope? It's fine. Okay, here's my hope. Ready?
Are you gonna try to use that as your hope?
No. I was just trying to be funny. I kind of want Ezekiel to go undefeated so much that look. There's the Josh patented blinky eyes thing.
Well, no, normally when you're doing your hope, I'm like this.
No, I know, but you made
since you're on video.
Now you're on video. You know what it is? So here's before I get to my hope, which I'm not stalling, by the way. I actually have one, but here's the other thing is that you do this thing that annoys the fuck out of me.
Just
when
one?
It's like this particular thing since we've been friends. You do this thing where you lean and you just do the blinky eyes thing.
Yeah, go on.
Oh my God. It is
not sarcastic at all.
It's so infuriating to like have a conversation with you because it's just like this motherfucker's getting under my skin. Just saying. Anyway. All right. So anyway, I kind of want the Usos to face the Street Profits instead of RK Bro. I'm just going to say it. I was watching last night and all I could think about was, I don't think having the Usos and RK Bro, like I get it on paper, it looks really cool. But I think in terms of a tag team match, I think having the Usos versus the Street Profits again, for me, would be a better match. And I think that would match closer to an FTR Young Bucks kind of style that I think everybody's been missing in WWE. So I'm not really excited. So my hope is somehow, some way, the Street Profits somehow get interjected into maybe a triple threat, but I doubt it because it already happened at WrestleMania. But more importantly, my hope would be that they beat RK Bro, they take those championships, and they go up against the Usos. Because I think for me, when I'm watching this, I don't really care. I mean, I should care. The Usos are the best tag team in WWE, but I don't care about RK Bro in a match against the Usos. I want to see what they do against the Street Profits because that makes me literally want to drool. I think that is a better tag team wrestling match.
Well, you can watch the Monday main event again because you're not getting your hope. Because here's the thing. If Roman isn't wrestling at Backlash, which he might not, sure, you could have Ronda or Charlotte maybe main event, or if hell, put Cody Seth last. But I think it's even more likely that the Usos and RK Bro could be the main event of that pay-per-view because that's kind of become the A storyline because that's what Roman's pushing as the A storyline and what our tribal chief says goes. So, and to be in that main event spot, like, yeah, Usos Street Profits can main event a Raw. We talk about tag team wrestling main eventing a WWE pay-per-view. It's Usos and RK Bro because fucking Randy Orton main event. And that team is just, they're still over like Rover. Like, you can say they've gotten stale, sure, but when they're in front of a live crowd, it sure as hell doesn't feel stale because they're good. So, yeah, I don't disagree with you because obviously the Street Profits are a true tag team that's been together a long time. They're great. And we saw on Monday their chemistry. But if we're talking about potentially headlining the pay-per-view, the feud is RK Bro Usos, bro. Sorry to break
Yeah, well,
it to
I
you.
mean, so look, I just that's my hope, right? Like, that doesn't mean it has to happen. I mean, I've had more, ridiculous hopes, but there's something about this tag division that I just think when I think the best tag team on Raw, when I think of like just the team aspect of it, is that the Usos are the best on SmackDown, the best on Raw, in my opinion, are the Street Profits. They just are. I think they're a better team, and I think I'm over the idea of that. The RK Bro is a team now. Like, I get it. They're over like Rover, like you say.
This is like a third time you've been over them, and they sucked us back in. And,
I know.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. But then again,
but once they lose, I think it is the end. So I
Yeah.
think this is kind of like the final like thing. Like, they defended them at WrestleMania. They're 2-time champs now, but you ain't gonna beat the #1 tag team in WWE. The Usos. This is all about the Usos. And I did see you put up the comment of Guthrie saying potentially Roman and Nakamura Backlash. Like, yeah, that could be enough time, but I still could see this main eventing because here's the thing. And we didn't really talk about this. Maybe we can put this here because Nakamura did come out and kind of challenge Reigns, and Reigns gave him a hug. Then he ate a couple super kicks. But I don't know if this is more about how Reigns has just elevated himself so far above everyone, or is that Shinsuke has just dropped so much. But that felt like, why is this jobber coming out to challenge Roman Reigns? Like, that's hilarious. Roman could beat him in one move. And that's no disrespect to Shinsuke, but it's just like, I feel like it's the combination of how high Roman got and how much Shinsuke has dropped.
So that little tower of terror.
Yeah, we can do visuals now. Usually I do them and no one can see them. Now people can see them.
It's like the Bushwhackers. You don't even know the Bushwhackers, probably.
I know the Bushwhackers.
You only know it because it's probably in the Royal Rumble with that, quick elimination. But other than that, you don't remember anything about the Bushwhackers.
Well, what year did they wrestle?
Well, they were the sheep herders back in the 80s and early 80s. They were nuts, by the way, in the 90s.
Yeah. How old was I? I was born in 89, bro.
Dude, don't give out personal information.
I was a little baby. So yeah, I know of them because I've watched like old stuff. But
listen. Do you know stuff about Cowboys before you were born? Like the Dallas Cowboys?
Here's the thing. I became a Cowboys fan when I was in the 90s because I was a little kid and they were always on TV.
Didn't you go back so you're going to tell me you don't know anything about football before?
No, I didn't. And then, like I just said, I didn't, just because I've gone back and I've watched a lot of these things, but you're making it sound like, oh my God, you didn't watch back then. Well, no shit. I was 4 years old. My parents didn't let me fucking watch wrestling until I was in my teens. So anything I saw would have been looking back like 10 years ago. That's why when the network came out, it was great. I could watch all these cool things.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, my parents weren't being like, you can't look at old football stuff. Football's bad. No, they're like, you can't look at wrestling because I see fucking half-naked women and a bunch of violence. Parents were protective. This is what it is. I wasn't alone.
Sure.
I also wasn't allowed to play video games till I was like 10 either.
Guthrie with a long one. I'm okay with a fun one-off with Shinsuke. It also gives Shinsuke an awesome opportunity.
Oh, no, I agree. I agree. But to me, and I'm not, like I said, I'm not trying to bash Shinsuke. It just, when he came out, it really felt like there was a huge discrepancy. Like, because obviously we're coming off Roman Brock. It's just hard to, Shinsuke doesn't feel like he's on that level, which is just, I think that's just how dominant they built Roman.
No, you're not wrong, but I will say this much. This is a very big question because if he's hurt, it's going to screw up the entire kind of Tribal Chiefs run, right? Like, having him come back and have to get back, to the mountaintop that he never lost makes him a babyface. And I don't know if that's what they want for him anymore. I don't think that's the case. I think if you look at it, he has to hold on to that championship and work with a bad tricep or bicep.
Yeah, and I think I think honestly it would be close to a squash, so I think it could happen.
But maybe here's the thing, right? Maybe that's what they want to do. They want to squash him so they can keep the facade of him continuous to win. Like, maybe he just has squash matches till he's repaired his shoulder or whatever. You know what I mean? Like,
and honestly, I think the type of injury, if it's what we think it is probably a 3 to 6 week thing anyways. So by Backlash, he could be cleared anyways.
Right, and we don't know that. But again, taking it easy, and I mean, not that Shinsuke is going to be an easy thing, but like you said, if it is a squash, then it's okay, right? Like, we just have to kind of be, okay with it.
I did like the hug though. I appreciate it as a hugger, and I'm sure
JC loves hugs. Everybody, make sure that you go give him a hug. Don't touch me, mother.
I'm not hugging you. I'm hugging the audience.
The audience doesn't want your hug.
Yeah, they do.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they do. Everyone's appreciated.
Did you shower yet? You strike me as somebody that doesn't shower.
No. I once I do like my exercising. I showered and I exercised.
Do you do like jazzercising?
I do not.
You do like a Jane Fonda video? What do you do?
I'll be fine.
You know what you should do? JC works out to wrestling themes. That's what you should do.
I mean, when I go
You
to
already
the
do.
gym, I do. I run. I used to be, and our boy Billy, like I always talked about this with him. And when I used to work out with the sure thing, the song that I would walk out to was the Dean Ambrose Lunatic Fringe theme. It would get me so pumped. You'd be walking out of the locker room like, ah!
And then you lift 5 pounds, right? So
7.5.
okay, well, hey, that's more than I thought you would. So congratulations. Okay, let's get into the comeback. I'll go first because I want to see your eyes roll back into the back of your head, not for a good reason. I'm going to give my comeback to Wheeler Yuta only because I know. But here's the thing. Did either of us really know who, Wheeler Yuta was until they got to AEW? No.
Of course not, but that's half the roster.
But then, listen, we complain about them not making stars. I think that on Friday night, they made a fucking star. Just a little bit. And I think that here's the thing. You have to give it up for John Moxley. Assist on the comeback here.
Oh, no shit. Him
Because
and Bryan Danielson.
he went out of there. But in the matchup alone, he went and had those false finishes. He made him look like he could hang with the guy that had already had the championship in AEW. Not that Wheeler Yuta is going to have that anytime soon or anything like that, but he is the pure wrestling champion. And even in a loss, that's how you make somebody great. And I think it stands out because, again, you look at it this way. There's a lot on WWE programming that we just kind of pissed through. We didn't even talk about Raquel getting a name change. There's just so many random things that happen that
Rodriguez, no. Yeah, good for
whatever. You know what I mean? Maybe so she can have like a nice belt buckle or something with the backwards R. I don't know.
The RG logo looks pretty good though. But,
yeah, exactly. It's like a Gucci thing. But anyway,
she'll be Raquel in 3 months anyway. So
right. It doesn't matter. Raquel. It's all like Theory. We didn't even talk about Theory having one name anymore.
Look, here's the thing with this one. Like we already call him Theory anyways. The only thing that I did kind of like the Austin Theory on a graphic, but I'll get over it. I don't care.
Well, the other thing that nobody thinks about too, and again, this is the funny part. I know we're talking about my comeback being Wheeler Yuta, but we'll get to the Theory thing.
Just make him Yuta.
You make him
Wheeler
Yuta.
makes him sound
no,
like
they
a
said
bitch.
someone said hashtag great Yuta, which made me laugh.
Just call him Yuta. Wheeler makes him sound like look at
Utah.
I'm gonna be the size shamer today because Wheeler Yuta, I look at him, he looks like he should be in a fucking 3rd grade. He's a little itty bitty boy. He's nothing. So yeah, it's cool. I love that they showed how tough he was. I appreciate that as an underdog guy, whatever, but can we just call him Yuta? It would already be better for me. The name Wheeler with that, like, I'll be size shaming today. But yeah.
I cannot wait for them to change it to Yuta and then just have Justin Roberts go. Hold on. Yuta. Like he does these like ridiculously long, nonsensical things. It's like, okay, guy, you're getting yourself over there with your little nonsense, but whatever. But anyway, Wheeler Yuta, I'm very happy for him. I don't know if the Blackpool Combat Club is for me, but it was one of those moments where. But here's something we did not talk about, and I think this is a good way before we get to your comeback very quickly, JC. AEW uses blood an awful lot. Thoughts?
I mean, like I've said before, like I think if you make it more meaningful when you use it like less, and they're overdoing it now, which is just ridiculous because we can see them fucking blading themselves in the fucking under the ring and shit. Like Jericho's the worst at hiding it, but it's just like it's one of those things like they're making it less special. So now when I look back at like a Britt Baker Thunder Rosa match from last year, which was incredible with Britt with the bloody face, like the Crimson Mask, it just you're devaluing all those great matches because now every week like you have a fucking blade off between all these guys being like, I want to bleed, no, I want to bleed, we're all gonna bleed. You know what? So it's like they're doing it too much. But then again, like it's wrestling. It happens.
I guess my question to you is, as a UFC guy, like I guess you are now. I mean, obviously in the betting. And yes, Ray, I have no idea about betting because I've never really bet anything in my life. And I'd like to learn. I just don't want to lose. But the issue here is...
You would hate betting then because you lose
I know. I'm a worrier in
game.
general. I would probably not want to part with $5, let alone 500. But you watch UFC, right? Most of that happens with blood. You're okay with that every time you tune into UFC, though.
Yeah, but I mean, a lot of times you see guys get really busted up and they're not even bleeding. It's just bruised. So it's just like it's one of those things. Like it's like yeah, you see it, but I mean, the other thing also is like we always shit on submissions on this broadcast, but UFC like leading to a submission, like the crowd always goes wild. It's like, oh my god, is he gonna lock it in? Whereas in WWE, it's just like, oh my god, he hasn't locked in, and the guy's not tapping. That's why it's come such a disconnect for me. But I don't know. It's just. AW is doing it too much. It is what it is. Like, and some people like it. Good for you. It's great. Like I said, it can add stuff for me when it feels like genuine and special. That's why when it happens in WWE, I think we always pop because they try not to do it. So when it does happen, you're like, oh, with AEW, like they're going out of their way to try it. So you're just making it seem like a kind of a lame, regular type thing, which kind of stinks.
Just remember, Doc, you go up to your wife and you say, remember, honey, it's not uterus, it's uter you. She'll love it. She'll love that joke. It'll be great. Yep.
Not touching that one.
No, I didn't think so.
Nestle jokes.
Not funny job.
They hit different.
Cause that bro was bleeding last week. Yeah.
Get it?
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, that was just as bad as mine.
All right, my comeback. Dun 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 dun. Now she's back, baby. Lacey Evans. I mean, everyone's going crazy for Bailey and Asuka. I've kind of been jokingly saying I'm more pumped for Lacey Evans. Always been a Lacey guy. She's great on the mic. She's fun. She was improving so much in the ring. She was probably getting ready for a women's world title run where she was feuding with Charlotte when she had Rick with her before she obviously took the year off. She had another kid, so good for her. But having her come back, and I think this is the discussion point, is obviously Lacey's always been a phenomenal heel. She left as a heel, but she's coming back and as a full-blown baby face. They're using her. There's a big reason why Nestle and I became big fans of her, because we saw the Breaking Ground or whatever it was, where we saw her tell her real story, which is essentially what she did in this promo on SmackDown. Her story is incredible. She's someone you want to root for. So they're using that now, and she's coming back huge. And I'm excited for it because you know what? If for some reason Ronda doesn't actually win that title, you can sign me up for Charlotte Lacey again. And I think this would be the best thing for Charlotte because you get a white hot baby face versus Charlotte. I mean, that's the feud we were going to get. We never got. So I'm excited for Lacey. She gets my comeback because she's a stud.
I will say this much. I am curious, JC, when I watched this and I said, and you went, my comeback. Don't steal my comeback.
I watched first, so I had dibs.
Dibs does not matter. Never does. Never, ever has dibs ever mattered.
Does with comebacks.
No, it doesn't. I could have gone first and stolen Lacey. Then what would you have done? Then what would you have done?
I would have virtually punched you in the face. Ba 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 boom.
Is that wasn't it the Bad News Barrett that did that? Ba 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 boom.
Ba 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 boom.
Vic
I should get like a rising pedestal to be Bad News Barrett.
Yeah, just elevates you right out of the
gavel.
Feeling, yeah. Beep, beep, beep. I always thought he had like the child's gavel with the little squeak. Yeah, it was great.
Oh, he is great.
Anyway,
I'm so glad he's on commentary in NXT. He's so much fun.
I don't know what we were going to talk about here, but
we're talking about Lacey.
Oh no, so here's the thing. She's going to not have bam bam because that's a CFO thing, right?
Probably not. Yeah, there's I think only Street Profits and Bianca are left at this point.
So the other thing too that I thought about was, and here's the bigger question: can she be an effective babyface?
Oh yeah,
I don't think so. I really don't think so.
I think she will be because of her story. It'll work for a time. Eventually, she'll flip heel again.
She's just so good at being a heel.
I know.
So good at it.
I know.
Like,
but we've never seen this, and I think she'll do well.
Here's the thing, and again, this is maybe I'm cynical, maybe just because I'm just
bring her kid to ringside.
No, don't.
Charlotte talk.
No.
They've done it before with her daughter. No, the older one. It's fine.
Here's the thing, like maybe I'm just hard, like in general, like on the outer core. Yeah, just relax. Maybe I'm just like a harder shell. Relax, calm yourself.
Is that what you want to call it?
I'm trying to make a point here. Maybe it's just because I'm desensitized by it, but like, I don't believe a word she's saying. Like, I know it's her real story. I just don't believe it. Like, I don't like, she can cry or whatever, but I'm not into it. I'm just not into it. Awkward silence is good.
Would you like to finish now?
I would like to finish. Thank you.
All right, we go to the big all finish. 1, 2, 3. We have a pretty loaded week to preview because SmackDown has a title match between Ricochet and Jinder Mahal, who is no longer being hindered. And we also have a rematch between Drew McIntyre and Sami Zayn. Your thoughts, Nestlemania?
Who cares?
Wow.
About all of it.
Ricochet's in action, so I care because he's
look at. Do I care about Ricochet? Absolutely. Do I think Ricochet is a great champion? Maybe. Who knows?
He's a fighting champion.
He's a fighting champion, but I don't care. Like anything
I don't care about you.
Well, let me make my point very quickly. It's just he is never going to be taken seriously, and I think that as a fan, look, like when Bret Hart had the Intercontinental Championship, it was like he was the wrestler's wrestler.
Let's compare him to one of the greatest ever. Yeah.
Okay, let's compare him to The Miz as the IC champion. The dude made that belt
relevant.
Let's
compare him to one of the greatest ever. 2-time fucking Triple Crown champion.
Okay, so then who am I supposed to compare him to?
Here's the thing. Ricochet's fucking when he's in a match, you fucking love it. And here's my thing with a mid-card title. You either need a larger-than-life character like The Miz, or if you're going to do the babyface route, you need someone who you can put on TV every week because they're an awesome wrestler and the crowds and the viewers love it because he's fucking awesome. Yeah, we know Ricochet can't talk. He doesn't have to. He goes out there and does what he does best. Wrestle, pew, 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 fly around, pin, pin, pin. He gets to do it to Jinder this week. I think it's a no-brainer. It works. It works. Eventually, he's probably gonna get Gunther soon. But
he's gonna get
now,
Gunther.
it's fun.
I love that we're making it a verb. He's gonna
Gunther.
get Gunther.
Gunther and Ludwig.
Ooh, a Ludwig. I like that even better.
Yeah,
He gets drummed. He's a Ludwig drum, you know, boom, 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 boom. He could do that. That'd be pretty cool. Yeah, I'm in it. I'm in it now. I like it. I like it.
Well, we go to Raw now because we'll stick with the WWE main roster first. Balor defends the U.S. title against Theory. KO puts Ezekiel through the lie detector test, like we said. Sasha and Naomi finally do defend their titles against Ripley and Liv. And Nestlemania. I mean, we didn't talk about this yet, but I will say we're getting a double wedding next week for the 24/7 title. We hate the 24/7 title, but we love weddings. Something's got to give here.
Look, I'm going to say this much. Everybody loves a wrestling wedding, right? What could go wrong? If the Truth wins the championship, I'd be shocked because I feel like there's going to be a bait and switch here where someone else wins that we didn't even see coming. Like Cody Rhodes or something weird, you know, just like, I just had to put that in there. Sorry. I know how upset you get with your American wet dreams.
Could you imagine if he wins the 24/7 title?
Oh, yeah.
And next week during his entrance, instead of giving out his weight belt to a kid in the front row, he gives the kid the 24/7 title and officially retires it. Cody would be even more of an American hero.
I can't believe how quickly you spun that. Like how you like it's like Cody brings you so much positivity that you're like boing flipping it right back in my face. I don't understand this at all. Like it is not even a pledge of allegiance, my friend. It is like an undying love for this wet dream that you have. Hey, it's upsetting.
I'm just glad that everyone is enjoying it right now because he's my guy. It makes me happy.
Because let's face it, what you're really going to say was everybody should enjoy it now while it lasts because everybody's going to turn on him.
Nothing is forever, Nestlemania.
Well, apparently,
especially as a baby face, it's so hard to maintain that. I mean, look at Drew, how much everyone loved him. It's just like baby faces get stale. But here's the thing about Cody. When it does happen and he needs to flip, I have all the faith in him as a heel because we know he is. Neck tap boy. If you have a neck tap, it's very hard to be a baby face. So it'll be easy money.
Okay.
Hey, you're the one who made it about Cody, not me. So that's
well, no, because listen, I was trying
anything else on Raw? Anything else on Raw?
Well, listen, you think Theory's going to win? I think Theory's going to win.
Yeah, Theory's going to win. Not this week, he'll win at Backlash.
And then, of course, Theory is going to go on to do great things, and Finn Balor could potentially be part of Edge's thing, right? Maybe. Yeah. I mean, it's a good gimmick. I
think more people would pop for him teaming with AJ. Have him and the fucking
as a club. Get it out of here.
No, just like even like a one-off. They could feed them to Edge and Priest. Like it just
feed them. Feed them.
Finn, the F and Finn stands for feed.
Finn stands for feed. Feed Finn to everyone.
Finn is a jobber to the stars. He's in the same position. They gave him a title because they're like, Finn, I want to thank you for being a great baby face that we feed to elevate our top heels. So we're going to give you a run with the U.S. title. But you know what? When that's over, you're going to feed you to Theory, and then we're going to keep feeding you again. Because here's the thing. It's the same thing as Ricochet. Like, we want you on TV because the crowd loves you. Whether Vince wants to side shame you or not, the crowd loves you. You have great matches. So you're going to, a lot of time, be a jobber to the stars. It is what it is.
The thing that you're just sitting there saying is going to be a great title run, and then in the same breath, you're saying things like, they're losing it right away. It doesn't make any sense.
Ricochet hasn't. Ricochet's defending everyone. Finn hasn't really defended it much.
Finn has been a paperweight champion at this point because it doesn't mean anything. Yeah. It's a glorified thank you.
He wasn't even on this week.
No, I know. He's not going to be on next week. It's just there's nowhere to put him.
He is. He's losing the title next week.
There's nowhere to put him. He should have stayed in NXT.
No, he'll be fine. He'll be fine. He's the only one that like Roman didn't definitively beat in his run. So
because he was wearing pink.
But Nestlemania, we are moving on to NXT, which is Tuesday night. So if you're listening to it after, too bad, so sad. Allegedly, we have Mandy defending the title against Dakota, which, I'm all for that. Then we have another one, Cameron Grimes to the moon, taking on Baby Uso, Solo Sikoa. I'm also pumped for that. And then, like we mentioned, the 5-team gauntlet tournament. Who you got in all these matches, Nestle?
Listen, I love me some Solo. Like, I just think he's great. Like, I want him to win, but I don't think he's going to because it's so brand new. So obviously Grimes. I don't really care about Mandy Rose's opponents as much. I love Dakota Kai, but we know that Mandy Rose ain't losing. Like, it's Mandy Rose's train and everybody's on choo-choo, and clearly JC's in the back of the caboose in more other ways than one. But
I'm on the front, man, because I've been on that train forever. Everyone's behind me, baby.
I was trying to put you on her butt.
Okay.
And then
always
you just
in the
ruined
shine.
it. You ruined it.
I like to sit where the sun don't shine, baby.
You ruined it.
I ruined a lot.
Glorious looking.
And are you picking Pretty Deadly
for the thing?
Yeah,
I'm going with the uptighty whiteys. I'm legit. I mean, maybe Gunther or Guthrie is in the chat here going to be upset again, but no, it's going to the uptighty whiteys. The Diamond Mind is going to pressure out some type of stupid victory here, and I'm going to be very upset. But
it won't be stupid. They're over. They're over, but I'm telling you,
They're just like
Waller and Sanga.
Bobby Boucher multiplied by 2. That's what it
All
is.
right. Well, I'm going to Bobby Boucher your ass, and we're going to head over to AEW Dynamite. We have MJF taking on Sean Dean, who has 2 straight wins against the Pinnacle.
I think he might win again. Like I
think so.
I think the Ward Dog's going to come back again. I think the Ward Dog's going to come back. Look, here's the thing. Here's the thing that I would think about if I was booking this, and I'm not, but if I was, here it is. You should always have one person that always has your number. How hysterical would it be if Captain Sean Dean is the one person that can
honestly,
always
I love
beat
that.
MJF?
Because someday when MJF has the title, they can be. No, you're right.
Then when he gets the title, he squashes him in 2 seconds, and then it's all done again.
This never happens, Vanessa. But you just swayed me. Give me the captain.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it captain style.
I like it.
Put my leg up here. Captain style, you know?
Oh, God. Well,
I don't drink. So.
I know you don't care about this next match. Kingston Santana Ortiz taking on the Jericho Appreciation Society 6-man tag. Then speaking of, like, this is where I get scared. We have a tag team title match between Jurassic Express and Red Dragon. Are they going to make Red Dragon the champions?
Oh, yeah. You want to know why?
Because they're boring and they suck.
Right. The tag division, the tag division in AEW has never been so hot, yet the championship has never been so cold. It'll
get colder if you put it on Red Dragon. The reason why I'm scared is because if this guy wins on Friday, I could see them having these guys win on Wednesday.
Well, we'll get to the next part, I'm sure, but Red Dragon doesn't do it for a lot of people. Everybody I ask. It's just like
I was talking with our boy Cap, and he obviously was huge shamers of them in NXT. So as an AEW guy, I asked him, and he's like, no, he's like, they both kind of stink. And he like, I thought at least like I can make an argument of why Kyle O'Reilly's fun. He thinks he's kind of lame, but just like Bobby Fish is just like, I mean, he's like a dead fish out there. I don't know. I don't care. But you know what? We shat on them too much. You know, I'm sure it'll be a decent match. And the internet will be like, oh, they're great. But next up is what I'm actually excited for. And that is Powerhouse Hobbs and Ricky Starks taking on Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland. These are hashtag the Rampage boys getting a chance on Dynamite. But I'm a big fan of all 4 of these guys. And I'm actually kind of enjoying their fun little feud.
It's a lot of nothing. Like, it's a lot of like just extra.
It's a lot of just good stuff. They're 4 great competitors.
For something that like there's no championship involved, I like that. Like, I like that they're doing something. But what I mean by that is just I'm looking at it as a perspective of like when I looked at this entire card for Wednesday, I went, this is one of the only matches I actually will watch. You know what I mean? But like, yeah. But it's
that's
nothing.
More of what I'm getting at.
But it's nothing. Like it's.
But
like,
it's gonna be.
But it's gonna be fun. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's nothing, but it's fun. And sometimes that's all you need. You just need to turn off your brain and enjoy it. So I fully expect our boy Starks to take the pin and get pounced out of the fucking building, probably somehow, some way, and then Swerve will do some crazy shit, and then of course Bearcat will eat somebody, and then we'll be done. 1, 2, 3. So it is what it is.
Man, that's what Ricky should be doing in his promos, is calling him Bearcat. But,
I would. I'd be like, "Hey, Bearcat, rawr!" He can get away with it. Ricky Starks is just infallible. Infallible.
There is one more match. It is for the Ring of Honor TV Championship. Minoru Suzuki defends against Samoa Joe.
This is a big deal for a lot of.
I know a lot of people are very, very hot for this match, but for me, I don't care.
So. I'm also under that umbrella. I don't care if it goes to Joe. What? If you kill Joe off in his second match, what? You know, it's like either way, you're fucked. Like I don't necessarily seeing it as a big deal. And we didn't really talk about the main event, did we?
Well, that's on Rampage.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Go ahead.
This match is on the live Rampage. That is the AEW Championship on the line. A Texas Death Match between Adam Handman Page and Adam Cole, baby. Madam v. Madam. Nestlemania. This is a rematch. Hangman has yet to lose a Texas Death Match. It appears to be his thing. But our boy Cap thinks Bebe is going to win. And we kind of have this discussion. I kind of want to talk about with you too. You know, I am a huge Adam Cole fan. He is one of my favorites. But when I look at it right now, I just don't think he's ready to be the champion. But the point that Cap raised to me of why he thinks it's happened is he's so fucking over, man. Like, it doesn't translate as well, I guess, on TV. But like in person, obviously, the crowds are always hot for him. Because if I was there, I'd go nuts for him too because I love him. I don't know. I just don't feel like it's time yet, though. But I could see them do it because we know that, like, we know Tony Khan wants to we know he loves Bebe, as we all do. So I'm curious your take on this.
Listen, beside the fact that the man blurted out in a nonsensical way that there was an independent study with bots, we're going to forgive that moment for a second. But here's the real issue I have with this. Adam versus Adam is going to be a good match.
Oh yeah, last one was.
But here's the other thing that I'm going to tell you right now. And Dom's probably going to get really mad at me because he's an old-timey wrestling fan. When they announced that it was a Texas death match,
he just had one against Archer.
I just threw my hands up and went, nobody fucking cares. Like, this is the most ridiculously unexciting thing you could do. Like, you're booking Hangman because he's a cowboy in Texas doing a Texas death match against Bebe, who is colder than a witch's thing. And it's just like,
Madam Colder, baby.
Madam Colder, baby. Like, he just like, I love Adam Cole, but like, what is he doing? He's doing nothing. And like, he's done nothing to beat him. He's like, this is such a weird, it's just like a fumble. There's no other ways to do it. It's just, you know, it's just in the Texas death match thing for me is just like, you pin somebody and then you wait for a 10 count for a last man standing. Get the fuck out of here. That's going to translate terribly on TV. It did last time and nobody fucking cares. And you're going to tell me that Adam Cole is going to have the chance to pin the champion 1, 2, 3, which means he should be champion. And then he's going to lose because he didn't get up on the 10 count, because he's going to lose to a buckshot and a 3 and then not get up. It's just like, there's more outs here instead of DQs and disqualifications, count outs, whatever, or act of God. They're just doing these random things. Like I will never, ever enjoy a Texas death match. I never have, never will. You can't point me in a direction. John, you can try your best.
Can I try?
Never going to fucking happen.
Because you said the hand of God out of nowhere. What if the literal hand of God from SmackDown knocks one of them on their ass in the middle of the match? Mark Henry's kid. Mark Henry works for AEW.
There's nothing.
If WWE did not sign that hand to a long-term deal after WrestleMania, it could jump ship to AEW. And if the contract expired, there'd be a no non-compete clause. So that hand could show up on Rampage.
Props to you for talking for this long about a hand. I don't give a fuck. I just don't. I'm sorry. It's just, nobody can tell me that a Texas death match is going to get anybody exciting, like excited at all. I'm sorry.
I don't disagree, but it is what it is.
It's
so
gonna
are you picking Heyman to retain? Because I think I'm gonna stick with it, but I don't know. I want, when Adam Cole gets it, I want it to really feel special.
It's not gonna feel special. It's just,
and Friday does not feel special. Yeah.
No, it's stupid. It's absolutely asinine. Let's move on. Anything else?
Well, no. The last thing is, if it's not Cole, who should be the next AEW champion?
CM Punk.
Thank you. Because for me, it's like, if not now, when?
Never going to happen after that. This is the only time to strike. This is the only time to do it.
Pay-per-view, I expect Heyman versus CM Punk.
Yep.
And I expect CM Punk to win the title.
And if I'm not wrong, I believe it is Double or Nothing. So
yeah, I think that's usually their May one. So that makes sense.
So I mean, you know, it's a big deal. That's like their kind of full circle thing. So I mean, you know, it's Punk. I mean, you got to do it now or never. So sorry, guys. Anything else?
That's all I got nothing else this week, man.
All right,
well, we covered it all.
Okay, then. That's wonderful. On that note, I'm getting the F out of here because God knows I got stuff to do. But I got it. Yeah, me too. Thank you for listening to Jobber Knocker. We hope you enjoyed the video portion. If you want to make sure you follow us on all social media platforms so you can watch us and be part of this. I think the conversation was a lot more fun with everybody on here. So thank you for being in here, guys, when you were talking with us, and we had a lot of fun. So we'll be back next week with more Jobber Knockery.
Always in the shine, baby.